Welcome to the Purl Girl Knit Podcast, episode 2. I am Catherine, your host, and this podcast is about all the little crafty things that I do in life. I am coming to you from Calgary, Alberta. You can find me under Instagram and Ravelry under the Purl Girl Knits. And if you go in the Ravelry group tab and look for our group, which is the Purl Girl Knits podcast, you're more than welcome to join. If you have any comment, any questions, anything, just go up there and ask ahead. And if not, you can also do it here in the comments of YouTube, and I will do my best to answer you as fast as I can. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much to return and listen to me again. It means the world to me that people actually subscribed to my channel and that are interested into what I have to show. And if you are a new viewer, well, welcome, and I hope that you will enjoy it as much as the other one did. So let's get into it. It's been about 3 weeks since the last podcast. I was away on vacation to see family on the east coast of the country, and so because of that, I don't have any spinning for this episode, because anything that I had was what I packed in my suitcase. So I do have some knitting. I have a finished object. I have works in progress. I do have cross stitch as well. No new cross stitches though. There are just things that I worked on from the last episode to today, but there was quite a bit of work done on those. And I do have some acquisition, because of course when you go on vacation, you buy yarn. That's what you do, right? So this is what I have for this episode, and I hope that you will enjoy it. So let's dig into it, and let's start with the knitting. So let's start with my finished object, which is my Leslie sweater by Anna Fettig. It's finished, it's not blocked yet. So I will show you the sweater, and possibly next week insert a picture or show it to you when it's going to be blocked, and that it's actually going to make sense for me to wear. And here it is. So on the last podcast, I was where the progress keeper is. And so I've knitted all the body from it, so from here all the way down. And I've also completed both sleeves from the middle of this beige to the end of it on both ends. So this is what I've done on vacation. It's great just because it's a mindless knit, right? You knit, and then once in a while you go to the pattern for decreases or increases or things like that. I did it 3 colors. The pattern is not a striped color, so the pattern is just one color all the way down. I did it with 3, and I also did a shorter sleeve than what she does, but I like it. I like shorter sleeves. Long sleeve I'll always end up rolling it up, so might as well just do it short. But it goes all the way to my elbow and just a little bit after that, which is good. At first I tried to at first I did a smaller rib, which was the exact same height as the stripes. And when I tried it on, I wasn't happy with how it was fitting me with only an 8-row rib. So I went back to the pattern and did what she actually calls for, and it fits better. So sometimes it's just better to go with what the pattern calls for. And so I did that, and I did the exact same amount of rib as well on my arms, on my sleeves. I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with the stripes that I've done. I'm happy with the fabric because it's soft and squishy. It's going to be a great fall and winter sweater. And yeah, I can't say enough of it. I like that her patterns are for a day-to-day life and not fancy or that you're going to wear just occasionally. And this fits great in my wardrobe. The only thing that I will have to adjust a little bit before blocking is that when I did attach the sleeves, I did end up with hole. So I'll have to fix that before blocking it and then block it. And then I will show you next episode, like I say, or I'm gonna wear it, or I'm gonna show you a picture, because depending on the weather, if it's 30 outside, it might be hard to wear. But I will try my best, and this is my finished object. Yay! So this was the first and only finished object that I have for this week. I did had, because I was using 3 colors, I did ended up with some leftovers. I did had quite a bit of the Cascade Eco Duo in the beige color and the Barocca Lustra in the blue colorway. I do have a considerable amount left, as you can see. The white, I have a bit left, but not as much as the other one, only because of the rib. The rib took quite a bit, as usual. But, so, I'll put those aside. I'm not going to put that in my leftovers, because there is enough to actually make a little something out of it. I'm not quite sure if the white I will put it in my mini bins or not, or because there's still a bit left, depending on the project. If there's like a little edging or something, it might be useful. So I'm not too sure if the white is going to go back in the stash or in my mini bin. So if you have any, if you think that I can do something enough with it, please let me know. I would be more than happy to see what you guys have in mind. So this is for project done. And as I was on vacation, I took a flight from Calgary all the way up to Montreal, and I wanted to knit a sock, because sock is always good to knit on a plane for me. And as I said in the last episode, I was going for the Fine and Dandy socks with my Malabrigo yarn. Madeline Tosh, sorry, not Malabrigo, Madeline Tosh. It's Madeline Tosh Merino Light, which is 100% superwash merino wool, 420 yards. And it is in the reindeer colorway. So this is it. Here we go. I kind of love the color. There's a little bit of a flare. Here we go. It's a nice light beige orangey color, which is really nice. And I did use the other one. This, which is, I can't read the company. I think it's Seedling in the fawn colorway. I don't know if Seedling is the company or their base. And it is a 90% superwash merino and 10% nylon. And so this is my contrasting color for cuff, heels, and toes. I know I have enough for the heel and toes for sure. I'm not sure if I have enough for the cuff, so I'll have to see. But I've started those Fine and Dandy socks. It was a night flight. I left, I think, at 1:15 a.m. So I digged into the socks at about 2 a.m., which was probably not a good idea due to the state that I was up for almost 18, 19 hours at that point. I was tired. And it was just not a good idea to start that socks at that time. So I ripped it all off when I landed. I was not happy with how I did the stitches. I ripped it all off. And when I left back at the end of the week to come back home, I decided to start the owly sock pattern. The only difference is that the owly sock pattern is made cuff down, and I do like to do my socks toe up. So I need to modify a little bit of the pattern to allow me to do that. So I did this, my rounded toe, and I did a few rows of just plain knitting between the two, so that on the first row of the pattern we would actually see a little bit more the first row of the pattern, which is now on the needle. But I need, like I say, I need to modify a little bit the pattern to make it toe up instead of cuff down. I'm a magic loop girl. I will try the 2 needle technique with 2 circular needles, one in front, one in the back, and then you just knit. I'm really curious to try that. I need to go and get some needles for one of the barns that I got that I'll show you later, and so I might just get another pair of needles to try to do that. But I feel like this sock will probably most likely go on 2 pieces of scrap yarns, and I'll use my needle for another project that I wanted to do throughout the weekend, but I couldn't because the socks were on my needle and I was away, and I'll talk to you about it a little bit later. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm in a state where I want a mindless knit, and I need to think about that to actually do the pattern and cables and all that jazz. So I might put it on the hold for a little bit, but I will definitely come back to it. That was my socks. And I came back home, and I bought a skein of yarn to go with one that I already had, and I really wanted to do one of the Romy Hill designs. I love Romy Hill. I love her shawls. She's an incredible shawl designer. I love her. I did other stuff from her, and as soon as I got back home, the first thing that I did was to kick up my skeins and start a new shawl, because I finished a sweater, so it's legit that I started a new knit. And so here are my 2 yarns that I use. They are Hedgehog fibers, both of them. I'll show you kicked up and in the skeins because I have it as well. So this is the cake. It's a nice light gray. I showed it in the last episode for those who watched it, but now I can talk about it because she posted the picture of July Club. This was the June twist sock colorway. I got it in the minx, which is a nice light gray with speckles. And I bought, when I was in Montreal, I bought a sock yarn, Hedgehog, in the typewriter colorway, and this is it in skeins. And so the typewriter on the sock is a 90 superwash merino, 10% nylon, and the twist sock is a 80% blue-faced Leicester wool and 20% nylon. And I did start the latest Romy Hill design her mystery shawl for 2016. That's the name, it's just Mystery Shawl 2016. I know she did a knit along with it earlier in the summer, June or July, I'm not quite sure. But I've started it. And here we go. That's what I have done so far. I do like the fact that in the 2 small rows of the Minx colorway, because of the white and the black, the light gray doesn't show up a lot. Mostly you see speckles of color coming out of it, which I find really, really nice. There is a bigger section here that will go with only the gray, so the Minx colorway, and I'm curious to see how it's gonna look up with a big section of gray instead of just a couple of rows. I started that throughout the weekend, and I had to rip off how she works. She works by chart and by section, which I love, and in the ones where you kind of switch colors, I've made a mistake. It was late, it was midnight one night, and clearly I was too tired and still on jet lag, and I should have not get myself into that part that night. And so I knew that one of my rows was not okay, and I was not in a state of mind to figure out exactly where I've made the mistake and to rip off and pick up all my stitches. So what I did is that I undid all that chart, start back the chart from row 1, and went from there all the way up to the end of the chart. I did, although before doing that, I did a row by row stitch count to make sure that every row that I had was correct as I was going, to prevent to rip it back up all of that section again. It is not a pattern mistake at all. That was totally me at midnight on jet lag, tired mistake. I completely did the wrong stitch in that row. So instead of doing a decrease of 1 stitch, I was doing a decrease of 2 stitches, which clearly didn't work out. But when you follow the pattern correctly, it works perfectly, like I did this morning. But I think it was the good thing for me to undo all the chart and redo it, instead of trying to rip off just that 1 row, pick up stitches, and then figure out what went wrong. Because of that, I just went with a brand new state of mind, and it was exactly what I needed. So this is the beginning of it. It's kind of hard to show you. And I love it. I love everything she does. I'm sold to her designs. She's great, and I love it. So this is the new project that I have. Right now it's in one of my small bags that I've done, but it's too small for my 2 skeins of yarn and the shawl. Right now it kind of fits really tight into it, so I'll have to have a bigger one. But I only have 1 big, which was the sweater one. But now that the sweater will be out of it, I may be able to actually use that one instead. So this is all for knitting. This is what I got. So cross stitch, I will show you the 2 cross stitch that I'm working on at the moment, which is the Stack of Critters by Dimension Kits. I did quite a bit on that, enough for me to be happy before I left. And so here you go. If I can find, if I can remember to put a picture of where I was last week in the editing, I'll put it. If not, I'm sorry. But so here we go. The Stack of Critters. let me try to zoom in a little bit. Okay. I finished the gift here that wasn't there on the last episode. And I did a lot of finishing on the penguin. I finished the little ears that he had, the ears cover, scarf, belly, paws. I did finish a lot on that penguin. The only thing that I have left is there's a little bit of scarf over here that needs to go that I forgot to do before I left. But outside that little bit of scarf over here, he will be pretty much done, except for the eyes as well that I need to do. But when I'll do the eyes of them all, I'm just going to do a blitz of eyes for all of them. And I did a tiny bit, not enough I think for you to see, on the polar bear. Just a little bit over here and the ear right here. So I will try to, I really want to get started on the snowman stocking. So I think that for the week to come, I will do a blitz of cross stitch for sure. I kind of want to see the final product of it and see if I like it and if it's worth starting the second one. And I already have a few other cross stitch projects that I want to start and that I want to do, and I want to do everything. So I don't want to have too many projects started, because then I won't know which one I want to do and which one needs to be finished and things like that. So I'm generally a 2 to 3 project kind of girl. I rarely go over that. Second project is my partner's Christmas gift. So if you are listening to this, this is your time to stop watching me, Jason. Yes. So here we go. So this is the Bubba Fett cross stitch that I'm doing. I think it was from the Stitch Bucket. I'm not quite sure. I'll put it down. It was an Etsy shop. I'll put the name down for where I got the pattern. Last episode, I was at about over here, almost. That was the only one page, and so I completely finished this side of it. And I am working on this page. I thought I would be able to finish it before the episode, but clearly that didn't happen. But I love it. It's starting to actually take shape and look like a Bubba Fett. And I like it. So, Bubba Fett cross stitch. Still loving it. Still really, really in love with the 28 count Ida. It's not an Ida, it's a 28 count. I can't remember from which company it is though. I ordered it online. The stack of critters was made on a blue 14 count Ida. And you can see the difference. Let me do this for you. You can see the difference in the holes of the fabric, which is my main reason, I believe, why I love the 28 count so much. Especially when you have empty space around a cross stitch, so that it's not completely holes like this. But I would definitely go back with a 14 count for something that is fully stitched all around. I would definitely go back with a 14 count. So this was cross stitch, nothing big, but still a lot of progress made in the last 3 weeks, which makes me happy. And since this is a Christmas gift, I can only do it when he is not around. He doesn't know about it, so I hide it. So every time that he's around, I stitch on this. Every time that he's gone to work, I stitch on this. And when it's too late at night, I'm knitting this. So this is kind of my pattern. And when it's late at night and that I'm not really into the mind of knitting something a little bit more complicated, I do take the spinning wheel out and spin a little bit, which I didn't do in the past 3 weeks since I was away, but I would definitely do it in the weeks to come, for sure. And this was all for the cross stitch. I do have some projects that I want to do, like I said earlier. There's a great Zelda map that you can get on Etsy that Jason actually enjoyed. So this is something that I would definitely do, and it looks fun to do. There's this, and there was a Disneyland map as well that seemed so fun that I wanted to do. There is also, I'm kind of torn in my water room down on the first level. I would like to have a little something in there, but I would also like something that would change seasonally. So to have like 4 little pictures that would still kind of fit together, but to change them as the season goes by. So maybe, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what I want there. I still need to figure that out. But this is, like, if I don't do this now, it's okay. I can do it whenever I find it. If you guys have any suggestions on something that has the 4 seasons in it, and that is kind of not like a kit, but like, for example, if it's an owl, it's an owl with summer stuff and then an owl with fall stuff, and so that way the owl is kind of consistent, but the season stuff all around changes. That would be great. I would love that. So if you guys have any suggestions, by all means, I would love to hear from you guys. So now let's go into acquisitions, because as I say, I went on vacation, so I bought yarn. And so I went to 2 places on vacation. I went into New Brunswick, where my sister lives, and I went to Montreal, where my parents live. And so when I was in New Brunswick, I did go to the London Wool Fibre Arts shop, which is a great local shop to my sister, for my sister, to my sister, what am I saying? For my sister. And the owner is slowly going into a transition, and so basically later on her shop will be selling, I don't know if it's mostly or entirely, that I'm not too sure, but she's going into selling her own yarn, which is beautiful. So I bought some because it's yarn that I can't find obviously over here, and so for me it was a good justified buy. So the yarns are Heidi's by hand. Here's the tag. And you can find, I believe you can buy it on thewoolworks.com. Oop, here we go. Sorry about that. I bought 2 lace. The colors are pretty accurate. This one may be just a little bit more red than it shows, but again, it's pretty accurate. So a light beige, a little bit pinky, and a nice red with a little bit of orange in it. Each skeins are hand-dyed merino lace. It is 100% merino wool, 125 grams, and you do have 1,100 yards in a skein. Gorgeous. I did a lot of lace when I started to knit, and I kind of put it in the back burner when I started to knit other things, and I kind of missed it a little bit. So I bought those 2 skeins. I thought they were going really well together, So I'm kind of hoping to find a project, like a big lace project. I would ask for 2,000 yards and combine them in that project. So that's my goal. I also bought this gorgeous merino skein. This was one of her Unperfect yarn. So there's a few knots in it or things like that, but that's why there's no tag on it, because she sold them discounted so that it's not going to go to waste, but that you are aware that there will be knots in it and that it was not as perfect as another skein of yarn. But I really don't mind, and that's why I bought it. And so there was gorgeous, it's a gorgeous gray with some greens and blues in it. And I'm in love with that color. It's gorgeous, and I can't wait to knit it up and see how it actually knits up. I got 2 skeins of that. And this is what I got in Moncton. In Quebec, we went to La Maison Tecate, which is a wonderful shop in Montreal. If you do ever go there, you should go into that shop. It's gorgeous, it's nice, everybody kind of talks to everyone, and you can sit, have a cup of tea, knit. It's relaxed, and they have a gorgeous selection of yarn. It's gorgeous. So when I went there, I did buy the typewriter that I showed you earlier to go with the one that I showed you. But so I bought 2 skeins of that. And we went also one day, we went to Sutton, which is on the south of the province. And there is a little shop there named Montricot. And they are amazing owners. They are a great couple. They help you so much when you go in their shop that, like, whatever questions you have or whatever doubt on a project that you had, you will get out of there and you will be set for whatever you were going in. So we went there. They were having a special day and new yarns that they wanted to show and things like that. So we went, and I bought yarn for a blanket in Jason's office upstairs. When we first met, and that he actually discovered that I was knitting, he asked me if I could do a blanket for his couch, which of course I approved. And 4 years later in the making, it's still not done. So I tried it though. I tried it more than once. I bought all the yarn for it. At the time, I didn't had a lot of money. I was starting my career, and I was traveling a lot back and forth between Alberta and Quebec, and so I had to go with what made the most sense financially at the time, which was a whole bunch of Red Heart Saver for whatever price I had to pay. I did knit, it was an hexagonal blanket at first. Every time that you were knitting it with 2 strands of yarns, and the yarn had no stretch at all into it. And so as I was knitting, it was asking me to actually put a lot of pressure to put needles through and go in. I am not a tight knitter at all, so it was really hard for me. I undid it all about 6 months ago. I was done. I just couldn't knit on it anymore. It was hurting me too much. So I stopped, I frogged it, and I started to do little squares instead with do squares. It was about, I think, 8 to 10 inches per square, and just assemble it later on. But even then, I still don't like knitting with the yarn that I had. So I decided to buy this yarn to finally do his blanket that he asked me and has been patiently waiting for. So I bought Bulk bulky yarn. It is my first super bulky. It is Naturalia. It is made in Italy. And this is the color 6. They do have a range of color, but actually, if you go in the neutral, it all works. So if you want to do, I only bought the brown number 6, but you can do really nice variegated project if you go and choose, for example, the color 3, 4, 5, and 6. It all goes one after the other. The lady at Maison Tecate had a blanket with 4 different colors that were just 4 numbers one after the other, and it was gorgeous. But I know that my partner is a brown kind of guy, so I went with all brown. It's nice. See how there's that little tiny twist of a really thin piece. Oh, I think that was a little bit too close. Here we go. It still kind of smells a little bit like a sheep, which I'm not disliking. But when I'll block it, I'll block it with the lavender soap that I have. So it's probably going to take a little bit over, which is fine with me. And so one skein is 200 grams, about 132 yards. It is 100% wool, and it is hand washed. Yeah. And so I like that. I have 4 skeins of it to do the blanket, and then I have 1 skein that I already had previously that I bought in a sale at Stash here in Calgary, and I will do probably 2 cushions to go with it. With 1 skein you can't really do 2 cushions. It would be really pushing it. You can do 1 complete cushion, but wouldn't be able to do a complete second one. So my sister weaves, and so we decided to, with the 2 cushions, the front would be knit and then the back would be weaved fabric. And since she will be weaving this, I will make her a pair of socks. She's not a sock knitter, and I am, so that is the trade we decided to make. And I will make her a pair of socks in the next colorway that I'm going to show you. It is the July Hedgehog Twist Club that I've received. I will show it to you because she did put all the pictures on Instagram, so if she puts the picture on Instagram, I'm fine with showing it and talking to you about it. If for any reason you are a subscriber to her club and haven't received your July box and you don't want to be spoiled, well, go forward for a few, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then you'll be good. If not, I will show it here because, like I say, she already put it on Instagram, so I don't feel like I'm spoiling anyone. And this is the colorway that I got. Here we go. It looks really accurate to what it actually is. And it is the Candyfloss colorway in her twist sock base. I do have 2 skeins of it because I doubled my club, and so I got 2 skeins of it. And this is a little bit too colorful for me, for my own personal taste, but my sister completely loves it, so I'll make her a pair of socks with 1 of it, and I'll keep the other one in my stash, and maybe one day I'll have a superb idea of what to do with it. I just feel like, for me, I feel like I would need to mix it up with something a little bit more tonal, like a nice off-white or cream maybe would be nice and would actually let the colors shine by themselves without overpowering everything. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to knit her a pair of socks with one of it, and with the other one I'll leave it until I find the perfect yarn to actually match with it. I didn't have that problem with the minks because it's a light gray with speckle on it. I feel like you have a little bit more maneuver or choices, if you want. Let's go with choices of pairing with it, and that's why I choose that typewriter, because it is white with speckles in it, and this is a light gray with speckle in it, and the dark black speckles that you have in it, you do have them in this one as well. So I think it's a nice transition from one to the other. And so that's what I bought throughout my vacation, and hopefully I will have a blanket eventually on my partner's couch. I also bought in Kenmore on my way to Banff. I did bought 2 socks yarn because I am still putting socks aside for my 2017 year of socks, which I want to do. And so I bought this Regia, I'm not too sure how people pronounce it, the Perfect yarn. It is, so basically, you do have the yellow strands, which you do not knit, but it gives you a point of start, and then you knit up your socks, which is gonna knit up like this. And you finish your sock whenever you want to finish it, and then you just roll up the leftover yarn that you have until you get to the next yellow pieces of yarn inside the ball. And then after that yellow pieces of yarn inside the ball, you're going to start to knit up your second socks, and they're going to be exactly the same striping or patterned socks that you have. So you will get 2 socks exactly identical. That is the point of it. The only thing with that is that you cannot knit 2 socks at a time unless you have 2 balls of it. But if you have 1 ball of it, you can't knit 2 at a time. Or if you do, you can do it by unwinding the ball and rewinding into 2 balls, and then you would be able to do that. But just like this, like you wouldn't be able to take from the outside and the inside at the same time, because then you would have a reverse sock. Which could be cool though. Could be something really cool for some people. So I got this. It's a nice light blue with little pieces of a light brown, almost gray, and white. And the color is the color 07124. 07124. I also got a pair for my partner who likes green, and his are like this. So green with a little bit of blue and some little spots of whites, and his color is the 07121. 0712, whoops. I'm totally out of, here we go. 121. And this is all I got, which is enough. I think I'll be good for a couple of weeks, if it's not a month. But I'll be good. I'll be good for a little bit. I do, as I mentioned, I believe I will put my socks, my owly socks, on a scrap yarn, not to undo it, but just to put it on hold for a little bit. and I want to knit with my minis. I want to try to knit the Sue from Deluxe Knits podcast has a little stocking, which are like mini stocking. They're adorable, and she's gonna do an advent calendar out of it. So she's using it. She's gonna do it, I would assume 24, and do an advent calendar and do it on a string, and this is gonna be her 24 days before Christmas. And I like that idea, I really do. So I think that I'm gonna use my little scraps and try to do this and see if I like it. I'll do 2 or 3 and then put them one beside each other and see if I like it. See if I like the fact that they are all different colors, or if I would like to maybe have a toe and a cuff of the same color on every sock so that there's at least something identical through them all, or not. So I'm gonna try that. I only have 1 pair of needles for socks. I don't have 2, which I will need to go and get a second one, and I need to buy big needles for this bad boy anyway, so I'll have to go for that. So this is gonna be one of my goals throughout the month of September. I want to sew some more project bags. I want to sew bigger ones, more like sweater sizes one. And I like those big ones as well, because then you just kind of go, and if I go away like to a coffee shop or somewhere, it's easy for me to put my wallet in there if the project doesn't take it all. And I like a little bit the bigger ones. I do like the small ones for everything that is socks related, that I adore them. But everything that gets a little bit more than a socks, I do like to go with the bigger one. So I will try to sew that in September. So maybe in the next episode or 2, there will be a sewing segment. I will also try to do some little bags, pockets for my cross stitch things, instead of put them in a brown envelope as they are right now. So that is my goal. I would love to finish the stack of critters, which I have a doubt will not happen, but it's still my hope, and get as far as I can on the Bubba Fett cross stitch, but that will all depend on my partner's working schedule. I have to just go with it, but I still have September, October, November. I still have like 3, almost 4 months to finish that, which I believe will be more than enough. So these are my goals to come and do some spinning. I'm pointing there because my spinning wheel is right on the side over there. I really want to do some spinning. I missed spinning. I put it on the back burner for so long because of the summer, and I was so busy doing a lot of back and forth and visiting and things like that. But I really want to get back to it. I am thinking about maybe doing Spinzilla in October, because I will not be working that week, which is going to be fantastic. And I need to actually go through my fiber stash and see what I have, and see if I'm equipped enough to do a Spinzilla week and do as much as I can throughout that week and do nothing else than spinning through this week. I think I would have enough. I don't want to go and buy fiber just for the Spinzilla. I want to go and use what I have. But I believe that I would have enough. I have some baby camel that I was putting aside to spin something nice with it and specific. But so I would probably have this, and I do believe that I have a 4 or 8 ounce of merino in 2 different colorways that I wanted to do a barber pole with it, a nice white and a nice gray that I wanted to barber pole together, that I could also do. And I have some other fibers as well in there that I could use. But I need to look it up and see if I'm equipped enough for it. But Spinzilla is something that I've been looking for a couple of years now, and I would really... I've been always working, so for me working and doing Spinzilla doesn't quite work, because then you don't really have that much time to spin. But this year, I'm not working for that week, so I think I'm going to actually jump on that opportunity and do it. We'll see. We'll see in September when you can actually register for it, when it opens. It's really short, and you have to register those days, and that's it. So if I think about it, I need to look it up when it's going to be. I think it's going to be like in 2 weeks from now. But I need to look it up, and we'll go from there. So I'll keep you posted on if I do it or not. And if I do, I will do a segment of Spinzilla prep and show you what are my goals and what I will be using for that Spinzilla. So this is all for today. It like I did it without show notes because I just came back from vacation, but I really wanted to put an episode out there, so maybe that's why there's a little bit more of some segments with a little bit of but and so, because I always say that, unfortunately. And so I'm sorry about that, but I really wanted to get an episode out there for you guys. So thank you very much for everyone who watched. I hoped you liked it. Once again, come and join us on our Ravelry group. Leave a comment over there or leave a comment below. I really want to read and have some feedback from you guys. And I wish you a really good day, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.